You're about to see 5 of the creepiest ghost photos of all time. First up, the Willowby Ghost. A few years back, during an investigation at the notoriously haunted Willowby coal building in Ohio, this chilling apparition was caught on camera. And they knew exactly who this was. The Willowby coal building in Ohio was built in the late 1800s. In 1912, it became the very prosperous Willowby Coal and was eventually sold to 2 men, business partners, Henry Windus and William Don Norris, in the 1930s. But over time, the relationship between the 2 owners soured. One morning, Don Norris left his house, telling his wife he was going to the store to pick up some bread. He said he was also going to stop and check on some repairs being done at the Willowby building. But Don never returned. Hours later, he was discovered by the front door of the Willowby building, deceased. He had been attacked. Many in town suspected Henry, but without proof, all the town had were suspicions. And it remains a mystery as to what really happened that day. In years since, many report strange occurrences there, hearing disembodied voices, unexplained noises, temperature drops out of nowhere, and many report seeing full-body apparitions, just like the one in the photo. And they're convinced that the spirit who haunts Willowby Coal is Don Norris himself, and it's him captured in this photograph. This photo really spooks me. Look at the face. Ugh, it haunts my nightmares. But I gotta know, what do you think? Ghost or nah? Let me know in the comments. Next up, the Spectre of Newbie Church. This is one of the most famous ghost photographs ever, taken in 1963 at Newbie Church in North Yorkshire, England, by Reverend Kenneth F. Lord. The Reverend said he was trying to take a photo of the church altar. Nothing was visible at the time. But later on, when the photo was developed, there it was, a strange hooded figure. Apparently, it was staring right at him as he took the photograph. This photo has me shaken like a leaf on a tree. The entity captured is so clear. It's looking right into the camera. This photo has been very controversial. Many questioning, is it authentic? Get this. In the 1970s, this photograph was examined by a team of BBC experts. They looked at both the photo and the negative, and they stated they found no evidence of any tampering and said the image was not a result of double exposure. Another convincing aspect of this is the Reverend who took the photo and came forward with it. This was a big risk for him. He had a lot to lose, possibly facing backlash and scrutiny from his church, the congregation. This photo could have cost him his role, his job. So what do you think? Authentic ghost photo, or are you still not buying it? Let me know in the comments. Next up, the old man in my house. Are you ready for this one? Okay, you asked for it. A woman named Michelle Midwinter had just moved into a historic home in Trowbridge, Wiltshire in England. A few days after moving in, Michelle went outside to take some photos of the front of her house, specifically the brickwork. Admiring her new abode, she looked at the photograph and was startled to see a face in the window looking back at her. Horrified, Michelle ran back into the house, thinking it was an intruder. Michelle searched the entire house, top to bottom, but didn't find anyone inside. Later that morning, Michelle said a clock that had been on the wall when she moved in randomly fell off, smashing into pieces. Next, Michelle and her daughter began hearing strange scratching noises coming from inside the walls. Lights would flicker all over the house. A friend of Michelle's visited one afternoon and said as she was in the front room, she looked over and saw the door handle moving up and down, jiggling on its own. Hauntingly, this was in the exact room the figure was seen in the photograph. Michelle believes her house is haunted by the ghost of Samuel Kent, the father of the infamous murderer Constance Kent. According to records, Samuel lived and worked in the area of Michelle's house, and Michelle accepted the fact that her house was haunted, nicknaming the ghost Old Man Kent. A local historian named Andrew Jones looked at Michelle's photograph and believes the entity does bear a striking resemblance to Samuel, saying there's every chance it could be him. She's become even more convinced over time as the longer she's lived there, the more ghostly happenings she's reportedly experienced. Michelle has maintained that she didn't edit the photo in any way. Is this an authentic ghost photo? Let me know in the comments. Our next photo, the Toys R Us ghost. There's a store in California that's legendary because it's so haunted. In Sunnyvale, California, a Toys R Us location has earned the reputation of one of the most haunted spots in the state. And for many, this photo proves it. Taken years back, an eerie male figure appeared in the background of this photo. The group said he wasn't present at the time the photo was taken. For those who were familiar with the lore of the store, I didn't mean to rhyme just then, but I'm gonna go with it. They knew exactly who this was. Story goes, the store was built where the Murphy farm once stood. A preacher named Johnny Johnson started helping out on the farm and fell madly in love with Murphy's daughter Elizabeth. But supposedly she turned him down for a richer man. Oof, that's gotta hurt. Johnson later passed away on the farm in some kind of freak accident involving an axe. Shortly after the Bay Area store was constructed in the 1970s, the creepiness began. Employees claimed to see dolls and other objects flying off the shelves. Many employees stated when they were alone in the store, they would hear a disembodied voice call their name, feel a cold breeze on their back, and on a few occasions, reportedly touched by an invisible hand. Oh, that's spooky. I gotta know, what do you think? Is this the ghost of old Johnny captured on film? Let me know in the comments. Now, our next photo. One of the most amazing ghost photos I have ever seen. In the 70s, Diane and Peter Bertholet, along with their son, visited the Worsted Church in Norfolk, UK. When she visited, Diane was ill, and they took some time at the church to pray. While there, Peter took a photo of his wife sitting on one of the church benches. Months later, when they looked through their developed photographs, a friend asked, "Who's that sitting behind you, Diane?" The ghostly figure in the photo is wearing light-colored, old-fashioned clothing and what appears to be a bonnet. Diane and Peter said the church was empty at the time. Neither of them saw anyone sitting behind Diane when the photo was taken. Eerie. The family, fascinated by the photo and wanting answers, returned to the church the next summer with the photo and showed it to Reverend Pettit. He took one look at it and said, "Yes, the legend of the White Lady." It said that this ghost is a healer who appears when someone near needs healing. And it made sense. Diane was sick at the time and indeed needed healing. How incredible is that? And this story is crazy. You gotta hear this. Reports of the legendary White Lady date back well over 100 years. Apparently, on Christmas Eve 1930, a man visited the church and offered a challenge to the ghostly White Lady. Challenging a ghost? That never ends well, does it? According to reports, he said out loud he would climb to the top of the church's belfry and kiss her if she would appear to him. What a strange challenge. It sounds like he just wanted a kiss, which is fine, I get it, but odd. So he goes up, and when he failed to come back down, his friends went to search for him. They said they found him in the belfry, trembling in a corner, terrified. "I've seen her," he told them. "I've seen her." And then he reportedly passed away. Whoa. Diane said she felt a calming, tingling sensation whenever she looked at the photo. Today, sadly, the church has been remodeled into a pub, which is a real bummer, but I wonder if the ghostly White Lady is still around. I gotta know, which ghost photo was your favorite? Which one spooked you the most? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on an episode. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, this is Avery After Dark.